I've been waiting to go for an hour and 45 minutes.
To see her.
I don't give a
You look very handsome. I love your suit.
That's great. You can see me in the car driving off in it.
It's go time, and it's in God's hands. Man, I'm freaking out. I think I'd love a drink to just calm my nerves a little bit here.
Arrête de pleurer, tu me fais mal au cœur. Moi aussi, j'ai envie de te faire un câlin.
For Shawn and Alliya and Greg and Joan, the big day is here. But for both, time management is about to create massive drama. Now, on the other hand, Mark and Mina need to figure out if there'll even be a wedding without little Clayton in attendance. So let's jump straight into the action with Shawn and Alliya. Now, the last time we saw the pair, Alliya was running super late and Shawn had just stormed off. Where was he going? Is that it? Is the wedding over? Well, not quite. He's actually on his way to confront Alliya and find out what the heck is going on.
I've been waiting to go for an hour and 45 minutes.
To see her.
I don't give a
You look very handsome. I love your suit.
That's great. You can see me in the car driving off in it.
It's safe to say that Shawn is majorly pissed off. Now keep in mind, his anxiety and his stress levels were already through the roof after his mum got injured earlier on in the day. But it really hasn't helped that Alliya has done the one thing that he begged her not to do. She was late despite promising him that she wouldn't be. And now Shawn is just over it. If you still want a wedding, he barks at his bride, well, it's gonna have to be a super condensed wedding.
So I say, we walk in the thing, say I do really quick, and then go have food, and then throw everybody out.
Okay.
Now, Shawn being so abrupt and curt with her has clearly taken Alliya aback. She wasn't expecting it, and this has dampened her excitement, dampened her mood for her big day. Alliya appears to wipe away a tear. I mean, watching that, you do feel a bit sorry for her. This was meant to be the happiest day of her life, which now clearly it isn't.
I felt like our dad came to yell at us and punish us and let us know, like, you're in trouble now. Get where you're supposed to be immediately.
Now, while I get it, while I understand why Alliya and her bridesmaid feel like this, at the same time, I'm sorry, but Alliya has brought this upon herself. She's a whole hour and 45 minutes late, having, let's not forget, promised she wouldn't be late. Either way, with the message now received, with Shawn actually giving her a 2-minute deadline, Alliya hops on a golf cart while Shawn makes his way over to the officiant to fill her in on the new plan. I want you to skip absolutely everything, he tells her.
So just do the end.
Okay.
Like, do you
Leah,
do whatever you legally have to do to make work.
Yeah, any hopes for a romantic wedding have now completely sailed away. By the time Alliya finally makes it down the aisle, everyone is tense. So was the delay worth it? Was it worth making everyone wait all this time? I mean, her wedding outfit is an interesting choice. Let's just say it's a lot more sheer than most brides go for. Now, whether it was worth such a lengthy delay, I'll let you be the judge of that for yourself. But what it does mean is that this ceremony is now officially the quickest ceremony I've ever seen. It's literally a case of saying I do at breakneck speed, exchanging the rings, and then that's it, finished, done.
I am happy to pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
The longest ceremony ever.
Well, that depends on your outlook, doesn't it? It's either the longest ceremony ever or the shortest. For Shawn, including all the time that he spent waiting, it's taken over 2 hours. But for Alliya, the time that she's actually spent at the altar has been like a couple of minutes. Either way, what no one can turn a blind eye to, what leaves everyone feeling a little shell-shocked, is how cold the bride and groom seem with each other.
Is that a whole 3 sentences?
Yeah, well,
How you guys feeling?
Wonderful.
Now, if you are clinging onto the remote hope that maybe over the course of the day the hostilities might fade and who knows, heaven forbid, they might even crack a smile, well, you'd be sadly mistaken. In fact, as Shawn goes on to say, once I'm in a bad mood, it's practically impossible for me to snap out of it. And that becomes very evident over the rest of this wedding. Now, Alliya, on the other hand, she tries to make the best of it, but that doesn't mean that she isn't disappointed.
The ceremony was fast, and it's very surprised for me, and I think a little bit disappointed, like, what happened?
As much as this whole mess is her own fault, I do get how the wedding is disappointing for Alliya. This wedding has to be the most unromantic, sad, depressing wedding I've ever seen. And considering all the dysfunctional couples we've seen on this show over the years, that's definitely saying something. Not exactly what you want to be remembered for, is it? But that said, this isn't all bad news. There is at least a moment of warmth during the reception, but it doesn't come from Shawn.
I am so sorry.
What
I am so sorry.
No, I'm okay. I'm just worried about you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Very
I'm so sorry I was not there.
Shawn's mum, so Alliya's new mother-in-law, offers an apology for not being able to help Alliya get ready. Now, the truth is, she doesn't owe Alliya an apology here, right? But what she's doing is nice. It's sweet of her to have done this. In fact, it's the only sweet moment that happens for the whole wedding. As the day progresses, right, the couple remain frosty with each other. And even when Shawn gets up to give a toast, he doesn't attempt to conceal how angry he still is.
So thanks for coming. Alliya, hey, thanks for coming too, hey. So finally coming. You got around to it. All right, cheers, bye.
That really comes across as unnecessarily petulant, doesn't it? Even Shawn's own friends are shocked by how far he's pushing this. Yes, Alliya was very late, right? But is there really any need to carry this on? He just seems determined to suck any potential joy out of the day, to ruin the day for everyone. And you've got to say, this doesn't bode well for their future, does it? If this is how they start married life, God help them both for the rest of their time together. Now, from one disaster to another, let's catch up with Greg and Joan on their wedding day. So, the last time we saw Greg on the morning of his wedding, he was freaking out because he'd just realised he'd messed up. He'd made a massive error on his wedding invites. You see, the time he'd requested all the guests join them was actually the time that Joan was meant to be walking down the aisle.
We're gonna have people making their way to their seats while Joan is walking down the aisle, ruining the ceremony. I don't want to say ruining, but I mean, it would be going on as the ceremony's going on.
It's funny how the world works, isn't it? Shawn may have been annoyed at Alliya for being late, but Greg is desperately hoping that Joan will be late. That might actually be the answer to all his prayers. Now, Mama Lucille steps in to help Greg. As Greg frantically begins sending messages to all the guests, Lucille begins phoning some of them. Now, while she might be taking a little bit longer than Greg might like, she might be causing Greg to freak out even more. At least she is helping, at least they are reaching people. The message is beginning to get through to everyone. Everyone, that is, except for Joan. Joan remains blissfully unaware of all the drama while she's getting her hair and makeup done. You've got to say, given how she's feeling, that probably is for the best. You see, whilst on her way back to their rental apartment, Joan lets her bridesmaid Laura know that she's beginning to freak the f*** out.
How you feeling?
I look cool, but I know what's happening in my head. I'm really panicking and I'm really stressed.
Without her friends and family, without the closest people in her life there to help calm down her wedding day jitters, it's good that Joan doesn't also have the extra stress of knowing about her husband-to-be's latest mistake. So, with Joan continuing to get ready with Laura's help, back at Greg's mum's house, Greg is also ready to go. But first, he shares a really sweet moment with his mum.
My youngest is getting married today. Nice knowing you.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks for teaching me to be a good person.
For as much as Lucille does enable Greg, there's also no doubting that she is a good mum, and she's a good mother-in-law too. Now, as mother and son depart for the venue, at the same time, Joan is leaving too, and guess what? She's on time, she's completely punctual, and she looks lovely, doesn't she? Her nerves appear to be subsiding. She's now very excited and very ready to get married.
Like, this is her dream come true. We've been dating for 4 years. This process of the K1 visa has taken 2 years. Can't wait to walk down the aisle.
Joan's transport to the venue, the car that picks her up, is lovely. And it's a taste of things to come because it becomes very apparent that all of the little details have been well planned. This truly is going to be something very special. Sure beats the wedding in the garden that they were planning to do, the cooking and cleaning that they would have had to do for all the guests. This is way better. Just look at the decorations, look at the cake. But for as perfect as this may all look, Greg is still very worried.
It's go time, and it's in God's hands. Man, I'm freaking out. I think I'd love a drink to just calm my nerves a little bit here.
No, Greg, no, don't do it. The last thing that Joan wants right now is to arrive and find you drunk. And as it turns out, all of Greg's worries, the big panic about the timings, turns out to be a complete non-event. The message, his efforts with his mum from earlier in the day, seem to have got through to everyone. To Greg's immense relief, the guests are beginning to arrive early.
Thankfully, people start showing up. Thanks for coming, man. I'm just so relieved. Like, literally, every single person showed up on time.
By the time that Joan arrives, very punctually might I add, perfectly on time, thankfully, all of the guests have taken their seats. At exactly 6:30 p.m, as planned, Joan begins to walk down the aisle. But she isn't alone. You see, Greg's dad, who we haven't seen featured at all this season, is also there walking her down the aisle. It's a lovely touch, and despite her family not being able to be there in person, Joan and Greg for that matter are surrounded with love. Not just from friends and family, but also between themselves. Like, just looking at them, the love that they have for each other is exuding. It's clear for all to see.
And I vow to always put you first and make you smile. Always. I love you so much.
Loving you and you loving me back is the best feeling I would wish on every girl.
They're really sweet together, and they both begin to get quite emotional. But despite the tears of joy, it is a lovely event, a happy event, and it's also, thankfully, an event that Joan's family get to witness too. Joining them by video call, they see everything, they witness the I-dos.
With this ring,
I join my life to yours as your husband.
I join my life to yours as my husband. As your husband.
And the best part is, this wedding, with all the cheer and joyfulness, with all the warmth, couldn't be more different from Shawn and Alliya's. Take note, Shawn and Alliya, this is what a wedding is meant to be like.
We're married, it feels amazing.
I'm excited. This was like a dream come true, so I'm really happy.
Hopefully Joan and Greg can remain this happy for the rest of their marriage too. So as we leave them in their happy bubble, let's catch up with Mark and Mina. Remember, the last we saw them whilst planning their wedding, Mina's world had just collapsed when she found out that Clayton will definitely not be able to attend her wedding. And that news potentially changes everything. Like, Mark isn't even sure there'll be a wedding now.
I don't know how this is going to play out, but, you know, Clayton's not here. She changes her mind, and she's not walking down the aisle. Can't believe that.
Mina had been desperately clinging on to hope until the very last minutes, so this news has completely left her devastated. She's worried that her son will never trust her, will never believe her again. Now, Mark tries to reassure her. He reminds her that everything they're doing here is also for Clayton. When he does come to America, he says, and he will come soon, when he comes here, he's going to have a whole new family. We're going to be a family together. But, he says, that won't happen unless we go through with this wedding. If we don't, if you cancel this wedding, then it will all have been for nothing, he tells her. And while for Mina, the prospect of having this wedding without Clayton there is horrific, at the same time, she realises that everything Mark has just said is correct.
Are you gonna still go through with it? You gonna marry me? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
So while the wedding will be going ahead, while Mina reassures Mark that she does still love him, she does want to marry him, at the same time there will be a hole in Mina's heart. But, of course, it isn't just Mina who's gonna suffer with this news. Don't forget, little Clayton doesn't even know that he's not coming yet. He has his luggage packed, ready to jump on a plane. He thinks that he'll be coming to his mum's wedding. And as if Mina wasn't heartbroken enough already, now she has to shatter her little boy's dreams too. She has to now break the news to Clayton.
For now, it's not possible you're coming. Oh no! You're coming soon, but you don't coming for the wedding.
This is really difficult to watch. I mean, it must be awful for a mum to break her child's heart like this, but it makes it that much worse that she can't even hug him. She can't wrap her motherly arms around him and console him through his pain. Like, you do have to wonder, and hopefully it's not the case, but you do have to wonder, will this traumatic event, in fact, will the trauma of the last few months having his family leave him, have lasting consequences for Clayton and Mina?
Arrête de pleurer, tu me fais mal au cœur. Un câlin. Moi aussi, j'ai envie de te faire un câlin.
Mina tries to console Clayton by telling him he'll still have his own chair at the wedding, and they'll make sure that he's joining them by video so that he can watch everything that happens online. But, while I appreciate it's all that she can say, it doesn't bring Clayton any comfort whatsoever. And in fact, by the time they end the conversation, Mina is once again utterly devastated. She's broken. But, judging by the trailer that we see for next week's episode, she's gonna have to snap out of it soon, because not only does she have a wedding to get ready for, she's also, depending on who you ask, got some uninvited news to share.
Deep breath.
But if they were to decide to have more kids in the future, I would still be very upset about that.
Everything's gonna be great, so.
I'm pregnant.
Wow, I can't wait to see how Jordan reacts to that. Something tells me there's going to be a lot of drama in store, and I really hope for Mina's sake she's learnt her lesson for Maria's baptism. Can you just imagine if she shows up late again? That and the pregnancy news might just send Mark's family over the edge.